So the massage guns that are out there, let's go back in history. In the early 2000s, actually even before that, in the 1990s, a device came out, and it was called a percussor. And so there's different devices that have been out there. So this is a percussor. This is a commercial grade. This is healthcare. Basically, only doctors can utilize this and work with this.
Really?
And so I've been using this for over 20 years. Now, in the last, say, 5 years, a number of the different devices have come out.
Yeah.
You know, the Theragun was one of the first ones, and then you had the Hypervolt.
Yes.
You have the a number of, and now you have all the knockoffs.
You have all the knockoffs, and you have kits to turn your Black & Decker drill into or saw into one.
Well, yeah, you have the jigsaw. So on Amazon, you can get a rubber ball with a metal stem on it. Put it into your jigsaw, and now you actually have a $500 massage gun.
Yes.
And so the challenge that you have, there's a number of them. Number one, when you're actually doing any type of the type of massage, there's two important factors. Number one is the length that the stroke is of the actual ball going up and down. If it's too much, it's too aggressive on the actual tissue. So you see these slow motions, and you see the quad just, vibrating and everything else. And if you have a lot of muscle on there and it is tight, it can be definitely beneficial in that area. But if you don't, you're going to be hitting the bone. And what I'm seeing with all the different massage guns, and I've tried them all. I've had people work on me with them, and that hard ball on the end.
Yeah.
If it hits a bone, if it hits, say a rib or, the AC joint or anything else, the clavicle, the knee, especially down in the foot, it basically, you'll bruise the bone. There's a covering on the bone called the periosteum that has a lot of nerve fibers that are involved in pain. So it's almost like you whacking your shin in a coffee table, and it really hurts. You basically have bruised the bone. You've bruised the periosteum. So with this device here, the original one, basically it has a foam pad on it. So it has basically a 1/2 inch of foam pad. So even if I go on top of a bone, it doesn't hurt. I've used it on you. I've used it on Victoria. And you can use it on all the different areas. The second thing is that you can see that it has a minute amount of travel back and forth.
Okay, yeah.
So because of that, it's not jarring. In fact, it allows the muscle to relax.
Okay.
And so with this, it actually works on the fascia. Those massage guns don't work on the fascia as much. The fascia is basically the covering on the muscle, the organ systems. It's just right underneath the skin. So you don't need to hammer the shit out of the tissues in order to release that. Is it good for a knot? Yeah. But this works on two different ways. Number one, it loosens up the fascia. Now, everyone's talking about, I'm breaking up scar tissue, especially in the fascia, or I'm stretching fascia.
Right.
You can't stretch fascia.
That can't be done. Okay, because that's okay.
That can't be done. It's structurally stronger than steel. And I've been in cadaver labs. I've worked on cadavers where we were dissecting different bodies, and that was handed by Guy Voyer, one of the top osteopaths in the world. And he says, you do ART, don't you? I said, yeah. He says, here's fascia. So he basically hands me a piece of fascia that we were working on with this one individual.
Yeah.
He says, see if you can break that apart. Well, you can't. It's like taking a piece of steel and trying to break it apart.
You're kidding me. Wow. Because we talk so much about fascia and bodybuilding, and we have so many ideas about stretching the fascia, be it through massage, be it through stretching, aggressive stretching in the gym, or be it through almost like site injections that people are doing with site enhancement oils. And there are various ideas. People think that they're stretching the fascia. So you're going to tell me that it's not something that would occur.
No, you can't stretch it, but you can make it pliable.
Oh, okay.
So think of this. Can you stretch jeans? If you're wearing a pair of jeans, Levi jeans, can you stretch that material? No.
Not much.
Not at all.
The new jeans,
they have elastin in it.
Right, yeah, exactly. You got me on that.
The
old school jeans, no.
The old school, no.
The new people might not know that, but the old jeans, they didn't have elastic.
Those are called leggings.
Yeah.
But think of this. Now, if you take, say, some glue and you pour it onto the jeans, now that area becomes less pliable.
Sure.
It doesn't move as well. Now, what you're doing when you're doing active release, when you're doing fascia, when you're doing Graston, when you're doing any of that, you're breaking up that glue. Basically, fascia has two different states, a sol state or a gel state. A sol state is a water state. Fascia is about 90-95% water.
Okay.
It's a huge water reservoir. And so a lot of times, if someone is dehydrated, their fascia, it almost, when you're doing any type of work, active release or anything else, it almost feels like beef jerky. It takes a long time, and we're talking not days. It's not a couple of glasses of water and now your fascia is fine. Because there's so many different feedback loops, and you see this in the bodybuilding circle in the sense of what it takes to actually deplete your water. It's very difficult to do it naturally. You can do it pharmacology, but it's very difficult. And to replenish that water back in the system, it can take weeks.
Okay.
Because aldosterone and the feedback loops and everything else.
Now, I've heard this before. Becky had told me, she said, I'm always chronically dehydrated in the muscle. That, and she said that she believes that through that process, dehydrating for a show, it's not something that you will. And see, I would have thought that, okay, I drink the water, I'm back to, whatever my weight was before. A few days later, I'm back to what I was. But she thinks that the tissue can take a lot longer. And it sounds like that's what you're saying as well.
The muscle tissue, but now it's the fascia.
Yeah.
That's a whole different spectrum to try and get water back into that.
Wow. Okay.
So with this device here, what we're able to do is go in, and now you're working on all those gel space, all those areas that have glue on the jeans, and it basically breaks that up. It doesn't necessarily structurally change it. You can't stretch that.
Okay.
So that's one of the challenges. The second challenge is that this actually, utilization, is this actually works on different receptors. You have a number of receptors just underneath the skin, Pancinian, Ruffian, all these other ones. And some of them are responsive to vibratory techniques, which is this. So by using a vibration, such as this, or even a Theragun, but it's a little too aggressive. It's kind of like using a shotgun, on squirrel hunting. It's just it's too much. So everything is dose dependent.
Okay.
Whether it's training, how much stimulation do you need in order to develop and create an anabolic state, or food, or anabolics, or supplements. There is always an optimal amount. With this, what we're able to do is actually even change the speed. So all of a sudden, you can see that it changes, and now it's very, very gentle. And I can actually increase the speed so that it's a little bit more aggressive.
Okay.
So do I like the Theraguns? Hey, if you buy it and you use it on yourself and you use it on the quads, the glutes, different areas, have at her. Not a problem. Stay away from the joints, especially in the shoulder. Can you use it on the pec? Absolutely. Stay away from the AC joint, the clavicle. You will bruise that. Where we're starting to see the challenge and the problem is now trainers are trying to become therapists. And what they're doing is they're using this on their clients.
Okay.
The problem is that, number one, that's outside your scope. You're treating someone. You technically are treating someone. And number two, you've never been trained on it. You have no idea of this person's history or what can happen. And just literally a few weeks ago, one of my patients, he's a trainer, and he was using it on this 60-year-old lady who basically said she had tight calves, used it on her tight calves, went in behind the knee, everything went into a spasm.
Really?
Now, anyone in healthcare knows that you want to be really careful behind the knee, because that's where a lot of clots are created.
Okay.
And we see that in plane trips and everything else. So they had to actually go to the hospital because she cramped up so bad. So what I think will happen, because if someone gets taken to court and the judge goes, "You were using what? You're using this on your client?" Number one, where were you trained? And number two, is this even in your insurance policy? No. You are toast.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you got to use the right thing at the right time. My profession is chiropractic. I don't inject people. It's not within my scope.
Yeah.
I don't do dentistry. There has to be a respect of what you're able to do and not able to do. If you do it on yourself, hell, you can pull out all your teeth using a pair of pliers. You can do anything that you want. But if you do that to your client, you're going to get sued. And we're probably going to see that with these different devices because they can be so aggressive and no one's being trained. It's sort of like, here, use it. And it's like, use it on yourself because you're not going to sue yourself. But, you hurt a politician's wife. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Or a lawyer's wife.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. You're done. You're done. And the profession will change because of it, because what will happen is they're going, this is such an unregulated profession, the whole personal training, strength coaches and everything else. So I think there'll probably be some challenges. So use it on yourself, use it on the major muscle groups, stay away from the joints, definitely stay away from the bones, the clavicle, the AC joint, the sacroiliac joint, definitely the spinous processes going down the actual spine. Can you go off to the side? Sure, but the problem is you can't do it yourself.